Thank you all for coming today. As you all know, my name is David Owens. I'm an attorney at the law offices of Lovey & Lovey in Chicago, and we represent the estate of Jordan Baker, who was killed January 16th in 2014 by Officer Castro of the Houston Police Department. I'm here today with Jordan Baker's mother, Janet Baker, and the lawsuit. We're here today, obviously, to announce the lawsuit that was filed this morning. And the lawsuit is a civil rights lawsuit seeking to hold accountable the officer and the city of Houston for this killing. As folks know, Jordan Baker was unarmed when this happened, and this is here. We're here to seek redress for that. And in light of incidents that have been happening around the country, Chicago, where I'm from, another one of Lovey & Lovey's clients, we had, in order to get the video release of the Laquan McDonald shooting, and today the mayor of Houston announced that, almost 2 years after this shooting happened, that they were going to release the video relative to the Jordan Baker shooting. So we have just now, we're late because we just saw the video for the first time, and as is sort of clear in the complaint, is the video does not show the actual shooting, but it shows the moments leading up to it, which are important because they understand why did this confrontation happen in the first place, and they get to some of those issues. And I can say we haven't had the opportunity to sit down and take a careful look at the high resolution opportunity of those videos, but we just had the opportunity to see that and feel now, after viewing that this complaint, that this lawsuit as a mechanism for seeking justice is more necessary than it was before. And this doesn't change anything, and that this is tellingly the one step forward to justice for Jordan. So Janet's mother's going to say.
Good evening. First and foremost, I'm happy that we did finally file a lawsuit. I feel now Jordan is going to be represented, and it's part of the process in seeking justice for Jordan. And I'm not going to stop until we get some type of justice for Jordan. I owe that to him. I owe that to his son. He looks at me and he wants answers. And I've not gotten them in the 2 years it's been almost 2 years since that January 16th night. I had no answers, and my heart is breaking, and I'm trying to keep it together. And it pains me to have to say Jordan was a good person. It pains me because I know that there's going to be a different narrative. I know my son. I know that night Jordan had every right to be in that strip center. I know that night that the questions that I still have that led up to him being taken away from me will be answered through this lawsuit. And I just ask, I'm thankful to everyone that's here in very short notice for showing up and supporting. And please say his name, Jordan Baker. Say his name, Jordan Baker, and please don't forget. Thank you so much.
Could you tell us what I know you haven't had a chance to really look at it in detail, but from what you've seen on the video, tell us what you saw on the video.
I'll take a question in 1 minute. Ron, what was that? So what the video depicts is the moments before the shooting. The shooting happened behind the strip mall. At least that's what the police officer says. And what you can see is Jordan on his bike entering the strip mall and passing by, and then less than 10 seconds later you see the officer engage him, and after that it's we haven't had a good chance to sit down and see what's going on there, and then moments later you see Jordan running. and towards the back of the strip mall. Other than that, I haven't had a good chance to see much, but it does show that he was fleeing, he was running, and running for his life, really, and unfortunately he didn't make it.
Is it dash cam video?
It is not dash cam video. So the video that was taken is from I think one of the businesses at the strip mall. I think it's a Sprint at the time, but we haven't confirmed that. But it's now a Cricket store that near the Little Caesars at the end of the strip mall. So the only video is from security video that is at the businesses. And apparently there are 4 videos. We haven't seen all of them, but we've been told that only one of them contains anything relating to this incident, and that's the one we viewed. And that one is from a security footage. There's no body cameras. There's no dash cams. There's no person who is behind the strip alley. It's just that video.
Does the video help your case, or no, or do you know yet?
I think it does. And so you'll see we had to, because we hadn't seen this before, make some statements about what the video shows. And in the complaint, there's obviously allegations about excessive deadly force. But there are other allegations and other constitutional issues at stake here, which is why he was stopped in the first place. And it's being a black man wearing a hooded sweatshirt, riding through a place 2.5 blocks from your house while wearing flip-flops enough that you should be stopped and have to run in fear of your life. We think no. So the Fourth Amendment prohibits that type of profile. So we do think that it supports unequivocally the claims that we've alleged concerning those issues.
In the complaint, you talk about reaching for the rest of his waistband. Right. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So one of the things that the officer, Mr. Castro, said about why he shot Jordan Baker, who at this point, Castro says that after running away, while being unarmed and without a shirt on, he turned around and just charged at him and got his hand close to his waistband. And that's the reason that he shot him. And this, we've alleged, is an excuse. It's a pretext. And it's something that has happened in other shootings here in the city of Houston that, oh no, say his hand got near his waistband. If you look at your hands, they kind of naturally, they're down near your side. And it's something that they've used in a number of cases as a pretext to justify what we have view as an unlawful shooting.
What time of day did this happen?
This happened at night, so it was in the evening. I think it's at 8:20 or 8:40 and 23 seconds, I think.
And what are you guys seeking?
Well, the first thing that we're seeking is accountability and justice. And so, when police officers can kill people with impunity, then there's no deterrence. Then the entire community is at risk. And so we're seeking that type of accountability, and that happened. And there's a measure of transparency just by filing the lawsuit. Look, today we know more now than we did yesterday. And at the end, yeah, we are seeking money damages, some kind of apology from the city to prevent them. And that's the way that cities work in terms of deterrence. And in real terms, I can't even think about the cost or the price that anyone would pay to not grow up and not see their son grow up, or to have to grow up without a father. And that's what this lawsuit is about. It's not just Jordan, but also his mom and his surviving son.
Did they specify whether they will be releasing the video publicly?
They will be releasing the video later today. That's our understanding.
Did the city show you the video or the police department?
It was the police department with their attorneys.
What do you think about it? I mean, you're having this press conference today, they're releasing it. I mean, is that a coincidence, or what do you think that all of a sudden they decide, okay, we'll release it?
Well, that's a question for them. Really, I think that what this is about, what this does show is that community matters. Is that on Monday there were other people here involved in the community. The lawsuit is one piece, but in terms of getting true reform, you need a community. So whether it was the lawsuit alone or whether or not it was involved with what was going on in Chicago, or if there's some combination, is that to get reform, to get justice, we have to do things both in the courts, but also outside.
Mr. Owens, in your lawsuit, you mentioned that at some point the hoodie came off of Jordan.
That's-
Was the hoodie on or off in the video?
I wasn't able to see that in the video, so that's why I said that we need to look back at that. But that is what the officer said.
Why wait too soon now? So many time after he was convicted.
Well, I think, so that happened in December last year. And I think the process that Janet's gone through was that of a grieving mother. And that this isn't a lawsuit just filed just because I'm angry and I'm upset and I want to file a lawsuit. And then she's gone through the process, the community's gone through the process to try to get some answers. And, lawsuit is not the first recourse whenever anything bad happens. You want to believe that the city's going to make up for it. They're going to say, hey, look, we know this is our mistake, but they wouldn't do that. And so, we are at the end of the time where we could even file a lawsuit, and this was the option.
I have two more questions. The statute of limitations for filing would have been 2 years from the shooting?
Correct.
And then, can you describe, Ms. Baker and Mr. Owens, the efforts that you have made to access any video in HPD's possession and make a request just to view it yourself as his mother?
There've been, okay. I've tried to contact, reached out. There's been a FOIA request. There was the Texas Civil Rights Project. They submitted a FOIA asking for this video and nothing. I didn't receive a response for these almost 2 years.
You have asked the mayor personally?
I asked the mayor, I went to a city council meeting to request the tape. And I was told one thing, and then we saw something on the media on Monday, and now today they released it. So again, a lot of questions were not answered.
What was it like to watch it after so much time has passed to finally see some video from that night?
It's just a necessary evil every step that we take. It's just a necessary evil, but it's something that I have to do.
When the grand jury made its decision, the Harris County District Attorney's Office had a press conference after that. And in that press conference, we were told by the leader of the Civil Rights Division that there were no witnesses to the shooting or the incident other than Officer Castro. Knowing now that there is a video, do you think that was a truthful statement?
I think it's too early to tell. There's a lot more discovery, right? So in lawsuits, you get information, and we get the formal processes of discovery, and we'll see. I know that there's a strip mall, there's a Little Caesars, there's late at night. People were getting pizza, but have I been able to tell, well, would this person have been in there? And we haven't had a chance to really do that type of analysis.
One of the defendants is RPI Management Company. Who's that?
So that is the company that hired Mr. Castro to work that night. So he was working both as an HPD officer, but specifically hired by the strip center to perform law enforcement for them that night.
What are your thoughts on this HPD in the city stating that because of state law they could not release the video, and now that the video is released, does this set a precedent for other cases like this?
Well, so the law says that they can withhold it if they're following a criminal investigation or internal investigation that doesn't result in an indictment or discipline. That's an exception that they say, well, if we didn't punish them, we don't have to release the video. But they're permitted to do it. And that's actually what happened today, was they said, that's what, at least what they told us, was given the circumstances, we're going to do this here because we think the situation merits it. And that is more about the community, and that is more about, we want a transparent government. And transparent government is the way in which you prevent corruption and the way in which you prevent accountability. Whether or not this will happen in other cases is yet to be seen.
Do you believe that the city and HPD were actually hiding behind that state law to prevent the video from being released because of what may be on?
I wouldn't use the word hiding. One of the things is that is if they thought that this lawsuit was coming and they knew that we would get this in discovery anyways. That's why, you know, you can file separate lawsuits under public records acts. We didn't do that here. We knew we were going to get this in the civil discovery.
Mr. Owens, in Texas, if you have new information regarding a potential crime, you can take another bite of the apple before a grand jury. Do you anticipate with the information that's provided to you through the discovery process that that might be a step in the criminal side that advances that part of this situation?
I think it's far too early to tell. We have seen I've seen like one police report, one coroner's report, and 2 minutes of video. And there's obviously a lot more. That we know that there was a grand jury. That we know that people testified. We know that Officer Castro gave statements that night. We know that there were paramedics on the scene. So there's a lot more information that we don't have. And I think that if there's information that we do think that warrants reopening the criminal process and that there's an open hearing, particularly from the United States Department of Justice, we'll present that to them. And that's something that we've done in the process.
Since Castro was working off duty there, do you think that there could have been a prior time that their paths may have crossed?
Well, I wouldn't characterize it as off-duty. He was doing extra employment as a Houston Police Department officer. And that's how the city characterized it. He was wearing his uniform, he was holding himself out as a Houston Police Department officer through extra employment. So I wouldn't define it as off-duty. He wasn't doing his normal narcotics thing, it was an extra thing. What I can tell you is that he had started working at the strip center, at least applied for it the day before. Had he seen Jordan there the night before? I don't know. And that's again why we have the civil discovery process.
So he had just started working that night.
This would have been, at least according to records that we have, a second day. But I think at the end of the day, we really appreciate all of you coming here, and this is really about trying to seek justice for Jordan and for his family, for his mother, and also his son. You know, he has a little kid. I mean, and that he deserves answers, and that's why we're here, and we appreciate you all coming out.
What is the next step? Is there, this police department has 30 days to respond, or?
They will have 30 days to respond once they've been, some time to respond once they've been formally served. So there will be a little bit of a quiet time in which the city can determine whether they want to try to dismiss our lawsuit completely or whether we'll start the discovery process without additional delay.
Ms. Baker, I have a question. What does closure look like for you and justice in this case?
But the accountability, as David Owens stated, the accountability, and because there's been a lack of, in my opinion, and that's the first step in what justice looks like for me. So this is just part of the process.
You mentioned that you have a lot of questions regarding these things. What is the most important one that you have in your mind right now?
I can't wrap my brain around the fact that he's not here. I cannot wrap my brain around the fact that he's not here. How he could leave 3 blocks away from his home and never return. And my life was tragically altered at that point. And I don't understand how that happened. And that's my question.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.